Well, now that we've done a tour of Mount Maunganui Beach, I thought it would only be fair to go and have a look at Papamoa Beach. It's sort of the same bit of coastline really. It's just Papamoa is just the next settlement along the coast. This is Papamoa Beach Road. This is the place where we have just bought ourselves a new house. So we'll cruise down here at 60 kilometres an hour. This Papamoa Beach Road goes for a long way. I don't know how long exactly, probably maybe 10 k's. Then it just stops. But it follows the beach all the way. It's great. Used to live down there. The house we're renting is still down there. We'll just pop up here and have a look. This little place is called Harrison's Cut. I don't know if I've shown you this before. I probably have, but anyway, quite popular, and you can get close to the beach. In fact, you can actually get onto the beach here, and it's a boat ramp if you've got a boat. A lot of people just come here to launch their Kontiki fishing gizmos so they can go fishing, longline fishing. And at night you get the locals often come down here, roar up and down the beach on motorbikes. We won't do that today, but we certainly will just come and have a little look. See, tide's right in. Gosh, look at all the seaweed washed up on the beach. Fresh green seaweed. Must have had some rough sea conditions out there the last few days. There's a stormwater drain there that runs out into the ocean. It's amazing how it changes. Just about every day you can come down here and it'll be a little bit different. As soon as these people get out of my way, I can turn. Very nearly got that wrong. We often bring our dogs down here for walkies. It's very popular. Dog walking beach is Papamoa Beach. Here's another one lining up, ready to cross the road. Good boy. Another very popular beach access point is here. Don't even know whether this has got a name, but it's quite nice because it's up high and you can look down on the beach. And I think free camping is allowed here, actually. Now, there's a bit of a story to this place. Now, let me see what we can see here. Now, if you look straight ahead, I don't know whether you can see it or not, but there's a low, flat island out there, and it's about 10 miles off the coast from here. And just to the left of it, knowing I've got my left and right this time, just to the left, if you go out, I don't know, about exactly where I'm looking actually, there's a little boat on the horizon there, just about, I mean you won't be able to see that, but there is, and about that spot, just above that lady's hat, a ship ran aground 3 years ago now, and all the oil from that ship came ashore here on this beach, And you wouldn't believe it now, but this entire section of beach here was just black, literally black, and it smelt like diesel, it smelt like oil. And it was, you know, it just made you want to cry because it looked impossible that it was never ever going to get clean. And I was here that day, and I was one of the ones who was standing up here just about crying looking at it. And then, you know, I came back the next day and it was all gone. It was completely cleaned up. And the effort that must have gone in from the volunteers, there were 3,000 volunteers operating up and down this piece of beach to clean it up and clean up the oil. The army was here, all sorts of volunteer people were there with heavy machinery, and they cleaned it up, they got it. Absolutely amazing. I owe a huge debt to those guys, those people who did that day. And then for a year afterwards, the oil kept coming up through the sand because it had soaked down, and then you couldn't see it on the surface. But when you walked on the beach, you got these black spots of oil on your feet. And there'd be a few hundred houses with carpets in them in this town that have got black oil spots all over them, or had black oil spots all over them. Because of this bloody beach and that bloody boat. But yeah, amazing effort. The clean-up effort took probably 2 years by the time they finally got it sorted. But yeah, what a fantastic effort. And that ship is still out there. They most of it is sunk below the surface now because it hit a reef, and the reef breaks the surface at low tide. And I think it was during the night, probably something like 2 o'clock in the morning, and the ship was steaming full speed ahead, and they were having a party on the ship. Apparently, I can't remember what nationality the ship was, but anyway, foreign nationals. They were having a party because it was the captain's birthday, so the story goes. And there was nobody driving the bloody ship, and it hit that reef at 18 knots. It's a huge container ship, and it hit the reef at 18 knots. It hit it so hard that it drove itself right up onto the reef so firmly that it couldn't be pulled off. And then after a few weeks of it being stuck there, it had broken. I was going to say half, but it wasn't half actually. About 1/3 of it, the front third of it broke off, and they'd managed to get most of the containers off by then, but not all of them. And the bottom end of the ship, the back end of the ship, sunk 100 feet down into the water, while the front end of the ship was perched up on the bloody rock. And yeah, it stayed like that for ages. And then over a year after, or it took about a year after it ran aground, they eventually they cut it up and removed it piece by piece with a helicopter. And they cut the pieces off with guys on the ship. They cut them off, lifted them with a helicopter, put them on a big barge. The barge came ashore, and all the steel was disposed of. But man, what an operation. They did it really, really well. This is just another little popular spot people come to. This is Papamoa Beach proper, I should say. It's this is where the surf lifeguards operate. Yeah, stand up, you can see there's a few people on the beach there. Doesn't look like the lifeguards are operating here today, actually. Might not have started down on this part of the beach yet. Yeah, same thing. Very nice, very popular. And this is the Papamoa Surf Club, celebrating their 25th anniversary this year. Pretty good effort, guys. 2015. I think one of the founding members is a guy I went to school with. Now, that pine trees that you can see there, it's all fenced off now. When I was a teenager, we used to come and camp in there with our cars, our noisy cars, and our beer, causing trouble for all and sundry. I'm not allowed to do it now, they fenced it all off. I think if we tried it now, you'd get arrested. Those are the good old days. And there's obviously another beach access here. I'm not going to go down there because I get stuck in the sand because I haven't got the right tyres on for soft sand. These houses along here aren't anywhere near as expensive as Mount Maunganui houses, but pretty expensive all the same. It's a shame really to see all the old-fashioned batches being pulled down and new houses going in their place. Some of the old ones are still there, of course. Here's a couple of little originals. What it used to look like back in the 50s and 60s. Look at that little place. Awesome. Now if you go up that street here, Grant Place, that's where our new house is. Just 2 streets back, the place we've just bought. So yeah, 2 streets back, straight out here, beach access across the road. Absolutely fantastic. I'm not going to go and show you because then you'll all know where I live. Don't know whether that's a good thing or a bad thing at this point. I think I'll show you once we actually move in. We don't take over till next Thursday, which is 1, 2, 3, 5 days from now. So I better not get too presumptuous because it's technically not our house yet, although we have signed all the papers and paid the deposit. All these cars for sale on the side of the road here are laugh. It's been an institution here in Papamoa for many years. But now there's the, the group of those people who feel that it's unsightly and it should be gotten rid of, and they're hounding the council and demanding that it be removed and that anybody with a car there be fined. Just nonsense. It's been there for so many years, and now that this part of the world, Papamoa, there's a huge influx of outside people coming here to live and to work because it's such a gorgeous place, and also because there's so much work here at the moment. There's this massive expansion, massive growth. There's just ahead of where we're driving now, there's going to be another complete township of 30,000 houses to be built within the next 5 years. So there's a massive influx of people, tradesmen and their families arriving, and because they come from places like Auckland and some other cities around the country, they expect, well, I don't know what they expect, but they think they own the place, and they're jumping up and down and grizzling about things that have been here, local institutions, and yet they're complaining and grizzling about it. So it's change, I suppose. It's a sign of the times, but I don't think it's necessarily a good thing. Nice little pub in there. That's one of the good things that's happened to the pub. Looks pretty empty at the moment, though.